The breach Captain Ilara Way stood at the observation deck of Solaris Prime's main colony hub, watching the sunset paint the sky in brilliant hues of orange and purple. The colony had been thriving for 3 years now, Earth's most ambitious extraterrestrial settlement, with over 5,000 residents, including 800 children. That last figure was the one Ilara was most proud of. Families meant permanence. Families meant hope. "Captain, we've detected an unregistered vessel approaching the outer atmosphere." Lieutenant Mercer's voice interrupted her moment of peace. "Configuration doesn't match anything in our database." Way's relaxation vanished instantly. Alert status yellow. "I want all defense systems online but passive. No aggressive posturing." "Yes, Captain." Humanity had expanded to 12 colony worlds in the 30 years since developing viable interstellar travel, but true alien contact had remained elusive until now. Wai had trained for this moment her entire career, but the reality of it sent adrenaline surging through her veins. The mysterious ship descended with graceful precision, coming to hover 3 kilometers from the colony's perimeter. It was beautiful in an unsettling way. A pearlescent hull that seemed to shift colors as it moved, with geometric patterns etched across its surface that glowed with soft blue light. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies," Captain Mercer reported. "Our systems are translating. It appears to be a greeting." "Put it through," Wei ordered, straightening her uniform. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that made Wei's breath catch in her throat. The alien had sleek, silvery skin with an almost metallic sheen. Its eyes, 4 of them arranged in a diamond pattern, were solid obsidian, revealing nothing. What might have been a mouth was a thin, horizontal slit that barely moved as it spoke. "Greetings, children of Earth." The alien's voice was melodic yet somehow synthetic, the translation software struggling to match the alien's speech patterns. "I am Vexer, emissary of the Silurian Collective. We have watched your expansion with great interest." Wei composed herself quickly. "I am Captain Ilara Wei, administrator of Solaris Prime Colony. On behalf of humanity, I welcome you to our home." Over the next 3 days, Wei led diplomatic talks with the Silurians. They learned that the aliens were a highly advanced species who had been observing human expansion from afar. The Silurians offered technological exchange, particularly in the realms of energy production and medicine, advancements that would benefit the colony immeasurably. But something about them made Wei uneasy. The way they stared at the colony's children with their unblinking obsidian eyes, the questions they asked about human reproduction and development, the way they seemed fascinated by the concept of schools and playgrounds. On the 4th day, as negotiations for a formal treaty were underway, Wei insisted on one non-negotiable term. "There must be a specific clause protecting our children," she stated firmly, looking directly at Vexer. "Any harm to a human child would constitute the gravest violation of our agreement and would be met with the full force of humanity's response." Vexer's head tilted slightly, an eerily mechanical gesture. "This attachment to your offspring is most intriguing. The Silurian Collective reproduces through cellular division. We have no concept of childhood as you understand it." "Nevertheless," Wei pressed, "this is our condition." "Very well," Vexer agreed with unsettling ease. "No harm shall come to your young ones. This we pledge." The treaty was signed the following day amid celebration from the colonists. New technologies were exchanged, and for 2 months, relations between humans and Silurians seemed promising. Then the children began to disappear. First, it was a 7-year-old boy from the colony's outermost residential sector. The colony security forces assumed he had wandered into the surrounding forests. Search parties were organized, but no trace was found. 3 days later, twin girls, age 9, vanished from their bedroom during the night. Their window was left open, though their parents insisted it had been closed when they put the children to bed. Over the next week, 4 more children disappeared without a trace. The colony fell into panic. Dr. Samira Khan, the colony's chief medical officer and mother to one of the missing children, approached Wei with trembling hands holding a datapad. "I found something," she said, her voice hollow. "I've been running scans around the colony perimeter. There's trace evidence of Silurian energy signatures at each abduction site." Wei felt ice form in her stomach. "Are you certain?" "Absolutely. The same unique radiation pattern their ships emit. They're taking our children, Ilara." Wei called an emergency meeting with her senior staff. Evidence was compiled, sensor data analyzed. There was no room for doubt. The Silurians were responsible. "Send a direct communication to their ship," Wei ordered. Her voice was controlled, but everyone in the command center could feel the rage emanating from her. "I want to speak with Vexer immediately." When the Silurian emissary's face appeared on screen, Wei didn't waste time with diplomatic pleasantries. "You've taken our children," she stated flatly. 7 children are missing from this colony, and we have evidence of your involvement. This is a direct violation of our treaty." Vexer's expression remained unchanged. "Captain Wei, I assure you the children are unharmed. We are merely conducting necessary research. Your species' developmental process is unique among all we have encountered. These studies will benefit both our peoples. Return them." Wei's voice was ice. "Return them unharmed within 24 hours, or you will face consequences beyond your comprehension." The alien's head tilted in that unsettling way. "Your threats are unnecessary, Captain. Our research requires approximately 30 of your Earth days. The specimens will be returned at that time, unharmed." "Specimens." Wei's composure cracked. "They are children, Vexer. Human children with families who love them. Not research subjects. Your emotional attachment is noted but irrelevant to scientific progress," Vexer replied. "The agreement specified no harm would come to your offspring. They will not be harmed." "Taking them from their families is harm," Wei countered. 24 hours, Vexer. Not a minute more. "Your military capabilities cannot threaten us, Captain." Vexer's voice took on a tone of condescension. "We have studied your weapons, your ships. You have nothing that could penetrate our defenses." Wei leaned forward, her eyes locked with Vexer's black ones. "There's something you need to understand about humans, Vexer. Everything you've seen of our military, our technology, our capabilities. It's what we've allowed you to see." She stood taller, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. "But when you threaten our children, you unleash something else entirely. 24 hours. Return them unharmed, or you will learn exactly why every spacefaring species should fear humanity when its children are threatened." Wei terminated the connection and turned to her communications officer. "Send an emergency transmission to Earth Command. Authorization code. Prometheus. Tell them we have a code black situation. Alien abduction of colonial children." Lieutenant Mercer's face paled. "Code black. That would activate the Shadow Fleet," Wei finished. "Yes, they wanted to see humanity's true power. They've earned it." In her quarters later that night, Wei stared at the images of the missing children. Among them was 10-year-old Zara Khan, Dr. Khan's daughter, bright-eyed and brilliant like her mother. Wei's personal communicator chimed. An encrypted message from Earth Command. "Shadow Fleet deployed. ETA 18 hours. Tier 1 operators already en route via stealth jump. Prometheus protocol authorized." Wei closed her eyes briefly. The Prometheus protocol was humanity's best-kept secret, a contingency plan for extraterrestrial threats that included military technologies and capabilities hidden from all alien observations. Technologies developed in isolated facilities on Earth and deployed only in the most desperate situations. Her communicator chimed again. This message was from a name she hadn't expected to see. Commander Maya Reeves, former Special Operations Officer and mother of the first boy who had disappeared. "I'm coming home, Ilara, and I'm bringing hell with me." We knew then that the Silurians had made the gravest mistake possible. They hadn't just broken a treaty. They hadn't just abducted research subjects. They had touched human children. And now, They would learn exactly what that meant. On the Silurian research vessel, Vexer reviewed the data from the human specimens. Their emotional responses were fascinating, so much more complex than anticipated. One child in particular, the boy they had taken first, showed remarkable resilience. Continue the tests, Vexer instructed the research team. Increase stimulus levels by 20%. What Vexer failed to understand was that humanity had not shown its true face during their negotiations, not even close, and that face was now coming for them, burning with the most primal and terrifying force in the universe, the wrath of parents whose children had been taken. The Tylorians were about to learn why harming human children was the one rule no species should ever break. The Reckoning. Commander Maya Reeves stood in the briefing room of the EDF Wraith, the lead vessel of humanity's shadow fleet, ships built in secret, utilizing technologies kept hidden from all alien observers. Maya hadn't worn her uniform in 3 years, not since she'd resigned her commission to raise her son, Eli, on the peaceful colony of Solaris Prime. Now Eli was gone, and the soldier in her had awakened with cold fury. Our intel confirms 7 children are being held aboard the Silurian research vessel, Admiral Chen said, addressing the assembled strike team. They're in a specialized containment area here. He pointed to a holographic schematic hovering above the table. How reliable is this intelligence? Maya asked, studying the ship's layout. Very, Chen replied. The treaty signing allowed us to plant nanoscale mapping drones on their delegation. We've had their entire ship mapped since day one. Maya's lips curved into a humorless smile. Peace had always been the goal, but humanity had learned caution after their first disastrous contact with the Artaxians 50 years earlier. They never went into any alien encounter unprepared again. The Silurians believe their stealth technology renders them invisible to our sensors. Chen continued. They don't realize we've been tracking their movements since they entered our system. Dr. Samira Khan sat beside Maya, her medical kit already prepared. The 2 women had formed an immediate bond, both mothers with children aboard the alien vessel, both determined to tear apart the universe to get them back. What about their defenses? Asked Captain Wei, who had joined the rescue operation from Solaris Prime. Admiral Chen gestured, and the hologram changed to display the Silurian ship's weapon systems. Their shields operate on a frequency we've already adapted our weapons to penetrate. Their weapons are advanced, but nothing our countermeasures can't handle. They think they've seen everything we have. Wei said quietly. They have no idea. Exactly, Chen nodded. Humanity has been compartmentalizing its technological development for decades. What the Silurians have observed is our commercial-grade technology and our standard military. The Shadow Fleet represents capabilities we've developed in isolation, specifically to counter existential threats. Maya stood, drawing all eyes to her. What's the plan of insertion? You and your team will utilize the phase shift technology, Chen explained. It will allow you to move through solid matter for brief periods, long enough to bypass the Silurian hull without triggering their sensors. Whispers ran through the room. Phase shift technology was theoretical as far as the public knew. In reality, it had been operational for 15 years, kept in reserve for precisely this kind of situation. Our primary objective is extraction of the children, Maya stated firmly. But I want to make something equally clear. We're sending a message today. No species touches our children without consequences. The briefing concluded, and final preparations began. Maya found herself in the armory, fitting her phase suit when Dr. Khan approached. I want to go with you, Samira said, her eyes revealing she would not be dissuaded. Maya assessed the doctor thoughtfully. Have you had combat training? 3 years mandatory service before medical school, Samira replied. And more importantly, my daughter is in there. Maya nodded. Get suited up. Aboard the Silurian research vessel, Vexer was reviewing the latest test results when an aide approached with urgency. Emissary, we're detecting unusual energy signatures near the human colony, the aide reported. They appear to be deploying defense systems. Vexer dismissed the concern with a gesture. Their weapons cannot penetrate our shields. Continue the research. There's something else, the ape persisted. Our long-range sensors have detected an object approaching at impossible speeds. It doesn't match any known human vessel configuration. For the first time, Vexer felt an unfamiliar sensation, doubt. Show me. The display revealed a sleek, dark ship moving faster than any human craft should be capable of. Its design was unlike the bulky, functional aesthetic of known human vessels. This was streamlined, predatory. Impossible, Vexer murmured. The humans do not possess such technology. The aide shifted nervously. Should we prepare defensive measures? No, Vexer decided after a moment. This must be a deception. Our intelligence on human capabilities is thorough. Continue monitoring, but proceed with the tests. In the research chamber, 10-year-old Eli Reeves sat in a transparent containment unit. The aliens had subjected him and the other children to various stimuli for days. Lights, sounds, minor electric shocks, psychological tests. Nothing overtly harmful, but terrifying nonetheless. Eli had been keeping track of time by counting the meal cycles. 4 days had passed. He knew his mother would be coming for him. Maya Reeves had once told him stories of her time in the Special Forces, whispered bedtime tales of bravery and rescue. She'll come, he whispered to Zahra Khan in the adjacent cell. My mom was a commander. She'll find us. Zahra nodded, eyes wide but trusting. My mom's the colony doctor. She'll fix us when we get home. The Tylorian researcher monitoring them tilted its head at their exchange. The concept of parental protection fascinated the aliens. Their species reproduced through cellular division. The concept of family bonds was entirely foreign to them. What they couldn't understand, what they were about to learn, was the ferocity those bonds could unleash. Aboard the EDF Wraith, Maya led her team to the deployment bay. 8 operatives, including Dr. Khan, each equipped with phase shift technology and weapons specifically designed to incapacitate Silurian physiology without causing permanent harm. Their orders were clear: extract the children with minimal casualties. But if resistance proved significant, they were authorized to escalate force as needed. Phase suits activated, Maya ordered as they entered the stealth drop pod. Remember, you have 15 seconds of phase capability before recharge. Use it wisely. The pod launched silently from the Wraith, its advanced stealth systems rendering it invisible to Silurian sensors. It approached the research vessel from below, attaching to the hull without detection. Phase on my mark, Maya said, checking her team. 3, 2, 1, mark. The sensation of phase shifting was disorienting. A tingling vibration as their molecular structure temporarily altered, allowing them to pass through solid matter. The team moved through the Tylorian hull, emerging inside a maintenance corridor, exactly where their intelligence had indicated. Phase complete, Maya confirmed as they solidified. Sensors show 7 human life signs 2 decks up. Move out. They encountered the first Silurian guards at an intersection. The aliens' surprise was evident, their obsidian eyes widening as they reached for weapons. Maya's team was faster, firing neural disruptors that dropped the guards instantly. They'll detect that, Maya warned. Move quickly. As predicted, alarms began to sound throughout the ship. Silurian security forces mobilized, but they were unprepared for human soldiers using technology they didn't know existed. The team reached the research level, encountering heavier resistance. Samira took a glancing hit from a Silurian energy weapon, but pushed forward, determination overriding pain. The children are just ahead, she said, checking her scanner. They reached a sealed door, clearly the entrance to the research chamber. Maya placed a device on the control panel, bypassing the lock within seconds. The door slid open to reveal a laboratory filled with transparent cells, each containing a human child. Eli was the first to see them. Mom, he shouted, pressing his hands against the transparent barrier. Maya's heart lurched, but her training kept her focused. Secure the room, she ordered as her team moved in, neutralizing the Tylorian researchers. Samira rushed to the control console, quickly figuring out the release mechanism. The cells opened, and children poured out, running to the human soldiers. Maya caught Eli in her arms, allowing herself one brief, fierce hug before returning to mission mode. "Everyone stay close. We're going home." "Not precisely," came a voice from the doorway. Vexor stood there, flanked by armed guards. The Tylorian emissary's posture radiated cold confidence. "Commander Reeves," Vexor said, surprising Maya with knowledge of her identity. "Your intrusion is impressive but ultimately futile. This ship is now in lockdown. Your primitive phase technology cannot function through our adaptive shields." Maya gently pushed Eli behind her. "Return us to our colony. And this ends now." "I cannot do that," Vexor replied. "The data we're collecting is too valuable. Your offspring demonstrate remarkable neurological responses, unlike any species we studied." "This was your final mistake," Maya said softly. "You were warned. Repeatedly. You chose not to listen." She tapped her communicator. "Wraith, execute protocol Sunfall." Outside, the EDF Wraith decloaked, revealing its true form. 3 more Shadow Fleet vessels appeared alongside it, surrounding the Tylorian ship. A transmission cut through all Tylorian communications channels. Admiral Chen's voice resonated throughout the ship. "Tylorian vessel, this is Admiral Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet. Your shields have been compromised. Our weapons are locked on your essential systems. Surrender immediately, or we will disable your vessel." Vexor's confidence faltered visibly. "Impossible. Our shields." Maya gently pushed Eli behind her. "Return us to our colony, and this ends now." "I cannot do that," Vexor replied. "The data we're collecting is too valuable. Your offspring demonstrate remarkable neurological responses, unlike any species we've studied." "This was your final mistake," Maya said softly. "You were warned. Repeatedly. You chose not to listen." She tapped her communicator. "Wraith, execute protocol Sunfall." Outside, the EDF Wraith decloaked, revealing its true form. 3 more Shadow Fleet vessels appeared alongside it, surrounding the Tylorian ship. A transmission cut through all Tylorian communications channels. Admiral Chen's voice resonated throughout the ship. "Tylorian vessel, this is Admiral Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet. Your shields have been compromised. Our weapons are locked on your essential systems. Surrender immediately, or we will disable your vessel." Vexor's confidence faltered visibly. "Impossible. Our shields were mapped and countered days ago," Maya finished. "Everything you thought you knew about human technology was what we allowed you to see." On cue, the lights throughout the ship flickered as the Wraith deployed its electromagnetic disruptors, temporarily disabling Xylorian systems. The guards' weapons went dead in their hands. "Now," Maya continued, stepping forward, "we're taking our children home. And you're going to learn what happens when you violate the one line we explicitly told you never to cross." The Tylorian guards, seeing their advantage evaporated, stepped back. Vexor remained, obsidian eyes fixed on Maya. "You truly would risk interspecies war for these few offspring?" the emissary asked, genuinely perplexed. "For even one child," Maya replied, her voice steel. "But there won't be a war, because you're going to tell your collective exactly what happened here. How humans, when pushed, revealed capabilities you never suspected. How quickly we nullified your advantages. And most importantly, you'll tell them that our children are absolutely, unequivocally off limits." Vexor was silent for a long moment, calculating. Finally, the emissary gave the Xylorian gesture of concession. "You may leave with the young ones." "And your research data," Samira added, already downloading and deleting files from the Xylorian computers. The extraction proceeded without further resistance. The children were brought aboard the Wraith, where medical teams waited to assess them. Physically, they were unharmed. The Hexilorians had kept that part of their promise, but the psychological impact of their captivity would take time to heal. 3 days later, Maya stood with Captain Wei on Solaris Prime's observation deck, watching the Silurian ship depart the system under escort from 2 Shadow Fleet vessels. "They'll be back, won't they?" Wei asked. "Not the Silurians specifically, but others. Other species who don't understand." Maya nodded, watching the stars. "Probably. But the word will spread. The Silurians will tell others about what happened here, how humans hid their true capabilities, how we responded when our children were threatened." "Do you think they learned their lesson?" Wei wondered. Maya thought of Vexor's face when the Shadow Fleet revealed itself, the dawning comprehension that humans had been several steps ahead the entire time. "I think they learned that appearances can be deceiving," she said. "That peaceful doesn't mean weak, that humans value certain things above all else, and our children are at the top of that list." In the distance, Eli was playing with the other rescued children in the colony's Central Park. Already, they were showing remarkable resilience, laughing and running as though trying to make up for lost time. "You know what scares me the most," Wei said quietly. "Not that we had to reveal the Shadow Fleet, but how quickly we were willing to use it." Maya watched her son, remembering the cold certainty she'd felt when planning the rescue. The absolute conviction that no price was too high. "That's what it means to be human," she replied. "When it comes to protecting our children, there are no limits. Every species that encounters us should understand that from the beginning." In the vast darkness of space, the Silurian ship transmitted its report to the collective. It detailed unexpected human technological capabilities, tactical brilliance, and most importantly, a warning. "The humans possess a ferocity we cannot calculate when their offspring are threatened. Recommend all further study be conducted with explicit consent only. The cost of misjudgment is too high." Across the stars, other species would receive this intelligence about humans. Some would heed the warning. Others might test it for themselves. But one truth would spread across the galaxy. If you value your existence, never, ever touch a human child.